Hello, folks. I'm Tom Johnson, and I'm here to tell you about the latest tool for you to put in your arsenal to be successful. Successful in your life, successful in your job, successful in relationships, and successful in your personal finances. And since personal finances affect every other dimension of your life, that's a good place to start. Folks, I'm here to introduce you to this little book called Stand Up or Bend Over. You will find nuggets of information in here that you can chew on, you can discuss with your friends, and you can begin to stand up in your life. I want you to listen intently and pay attention to the video to follow on Stand Up or Bend Over. Thank you very much.
What do you think about the credit bureaus and the way they report for the credit agencies?
The credit bureaus and reporting. It's an interesting question, and I think a very vital and important question, because we happen to be a credit-driven society. We're a nation where people live and die by their credit scores. And everybody, literally everybody, is playing the credit game. There's something very important, folks, that you need to know. And nobody's telling you the rules of the game of credit. Folks, I'm going to tell you, because you don't understand, you're making decisions every day that you think are in your best interest to help you and your credit. And I'm here to tell you, it's probably wrong. For example, you have a sleepless night thinking you made a late payment on your credit card, and it's going to be reported to the credit bureaus. Well, let me tell you, the creditor that gave you that credit card set up in the agreement that he's going to charge you a late fee if you're not paid in 15 days, because that's the contractual term, and he will get his $35 fee because you were late. But it's not going to be late on your credit report until it's 31 days late. Don't lose any more sleep over that one. Maybe lose it over the $35 they whacked you. And the fact of the matter is, folks, let's take a couple of other simple examples. Did you know there's not 1, 2, or 3, or 12, or 20 different formulas to calculate your credit score? How about more than 40? Fair Isaac Corporation out of the Twin Cities in Minnesota, who develops those, recently printed an article and divulged that there are about 49 different formulas that are used, depending upon whether you're doing a search for financing of a car, a home, background check, or some other type of financing or inquiry that a creditor wants to know. And, why is it that the credit bureaus, all three of them, may have different scores? Well, it's because not all creditors report to all three bureaus, so their databases are not the same. And also, sometimes creditors don't report, or collection companies don't report when you have paid off a particular account. And it may stay out there and show that it's actually late when it's not. Now, all this brings to mind something else. You see, the federal government has passed what's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. And it's supposed to protect you, the consumer, protect you and your rights to have a fair and equitable representation of your credit. Folks, what do you know about the FCRA? Do you know if the credit bureau violates you or your creditor violates you? You don't have a clue. And they get away with it. They violate the law and nobody bothers them. Folks, you got to get educated. You got to find out about what's legal and what's not, what they can do, what they can't do, and what you can do. Folks, you can stand up against these folks, and that's important. So, what are some other things about credit? I can tell you that we had a little old lady come in one day and say, you know what? I don't know what's wrong with my credit, but my credit scores are good, and I paid everything on time, and I had lots of accounts, and lots of them all over my life. We took a look at her credit report, and Granny was right. My word, did she have a lot of credit. And she probably didn't have hardly any late payments on her credit report, and her score was low. Listen up, folks. Granny had 16 open, zero balance accounts. So, the fact of the matter is that what happens in the computation of your score is that they will take all of those zero balance accounts, add up the total of all of the credit limits on those accounts, and say, my goodness, you have $60,000 of open credit. It's all zero balance right now, but if you used it, you could be in trouble, and they penalize you now. Isn't that neat? Never knew that, did you? So what do? We just suggested to Granny that what she do is close down 13 of those accounts, leave 3 of them open. And you know what happened? A minor miracle. Whew! She closed down the accounts, and her score went right through the roof in about 30 to 45 days. Amazing. Anybody ever tell you that? Folks, I'm telling you, you've got to understand your credit. If you're going to play the game, you better know the rules. And if you want to know more about the rules, you got to get the book, Stand Up or Bend Over. Thank you. Folks, if anything you just watched and listened to resonates with you, connected in any way, or motivated you to want to learn more, go to standuporbendover.net and buy this little book. It's loaded with nuggets of information that will help you begin to stand up in your life. Standuporbendover.net, and it can be yours. Thank you very much.